So I do have a question for you,
Sure.
and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but do you know who Salem Media is?
Yes, why?
Well, there is a movie that I didn't even know about called No Safe Spaces.
Yes, with Dennis Prager and Adam Carolla.
I can't wait to watch it.
Dennis, of course, is one of the hosts at Salem Media Group, and
I did not know that.
he's on 1 to 3 Eastern here in New York City,
I did not know that.
which is 12 Central your time.
I did not know that. Thank you
Oh,
for
no?
sharing that. He is
Sure.
one of my faves, and it's interesting because people have tried to post this movie on YouTube, and it says it violates their whatever. And wow,
Well, let me tell you about that. That is interesting because he has been fighting this for years. The YouTube censoring, like that's a real thing, and it's an issue for him. Also, one other thing about Dennis, and I met him in studio when he was in New York. Awesome guy. Um, but when he was supposed to conduct, I think in California, like a philharmonic or something, the orchestra, the cancel mob got him to got the orchestra to cancel his appearance or something. Oh no, they were trying to, but he went on anyway. I mean, this is how crazy it is in California, though. A man can't even conduct an orchestra because of his views. Do you believe in it? Did this exist 30, 40 years ago? I don't think so.
it is so. And I've said this before. What we're seeing right now is so crazy that it is unhealthy for me to be exposed to it for any length of time. For me, it's unhealthy because I get really, really angry.
You feel it too, right? So,
Oh, do I feel it? I'm feeling it right now, and it's not there's a difference between a Jesus
yeah.
and an anger. Oh, it's just driving me. I can't do it, and I'm glad that I can't do it.
Mm.
Is it because I'm a wussy and I don't want to be involved? No, it's because I don't want to. I'm trying to love on myself, I guess, and take care of me.
Well,
Well,
the
that's
bubble
selfish.
boy, the bubble boy thing is so uh pertinent now, right? We kind of all want to be in our bubble and not watch the shit show that's on our TV every day. I mean, that's how I see it. Why would I watch that and upset myself when I could just focus on other things and do other things to better the way for people and for myself?
Now, I like what you said. You didn't just say for myself, but you said for others, and that's the key. Making this world a better place for others.
Mhm.
What's going on right now is just so selfish and self-centered and nasty. It's nasty. That's a nice way to. It's evil, is what it is.
It is evil, and
Oh,
also it sidetracks from the actual good that's going on. Um, I'm interviewing someone who was wrongfully accused and put in jail for 23 years.
oh
Finally got
my
released
goodness.
last August, and he talked with me for about 45 minutes. I'm going to post that later today. So
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
there are stories that need to be told, and God's putting them on my lap, literally putting it on my lap.
So let me ask you a question. You said you sent me a message yesterday and you said, "Wow." Was that a reference to the show that you did yesterday?
I thought the show overall was great. I thought our little bit was good. Then I kind of like the ability to rant for 30 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know if you heard the rest of it as well, but I just love that I can just,
No, and see the problem is I didn't know what you were wowing.
oh,
And so I said, I'm afraid to ask what your wow is all about. And you said, what a great show today. It's a great wow. But you still didn't let me know exactly what it was about. So now I need to go back and check it out. I didn't,
well, because and maybe you agree, I thought handwriting. So I'm starting to do a lot of handwriting now because I don't want to scroll on my phone anymore. I want to just write, and that's cathartic for me. I don't know if it is for you, but I made a couple of points. I said the Bible was handwritten. In fact, they didn't have a Google Doc to type out the verses. They didn't
interesting.
have an iPhone notepad. They literally had the tablets, and they had maybe papyrus. I don't know what else they used back then, but they had to write all these things down that they saw.
Wow.
And so I thought, why do we lose that art of writing? Some of the best things that's ever happened in this country came out of writing. Case in point, the Declaration of Independence. They wrote that thing in quill pen and they put it, and then it's in the Library of Congress. So why should we stop that? And I think, to me, going back to writing is kind of preserving history again. Because if they're going to tear down the statues, fine, but let's dig up letters from those in the Civil War that actually detail it. Let's preserve our history that way.
Alex, that's amazing, because there is something that goes into, I mean, my own handwriting. I look at it and I can see by my handwriting how weird my head is. I mean, I'll go from cursive to block lettering to small letters to, I mean, it's like, and actually, what's that? Oh, that guy, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Has a writing course that I actually signed up for a couple of years ago, thinking, oh, I'm going to write this book. And I still haven't gone back to it. And I need to discipline myself to at least do that. Maybe that's what this time is for, instead of me getting all ticked off. And
well, that's why I also loved veering the conversation, because I'm sick and tired of hearing that the statues are coming. I'm sick and tired of hearing that.
Good for you.
So what can we do? What can you and I, what can the country, what can the world do to make ourselves less anxious? I really strongly advocate for handwriting again.
Now, do you think this is just a fad you're going through, or do you think you'll actually stick with it?
Here's what happened. I was trying to save some notes on an author that I was going to interview a couple weeks from now. The notes were gone. And so then I'm like, man, why our technology, God forbid, could crash, and we may not have anything saved of ours.
I love it.
We didn't write anymore. So I'm changing that. I'm writing again. My mom saved my script from my first ever radio show on WQMC at Queens College in fall of 2009. And I still have it. I'm like, thank God we saved all this writing, like, I don't know where it's going to go, but at least we have it. So.
And my wife just finally finished up her first ever book.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow is right. At least she has a friend that's written a number of books. And to me, just that discipline in itself is amazing, let alone what it reveals about I think it was called Killer Boss.
Is she a good writer or what? Your wife?
Sure she is.
Stop.
That's hard to do. Yeah, you know what? She wants me to read it, and I will read it. And I just think it's neat that she's that disciplined. So who am I to be throwing rocks at my wife, who at least has sat down and done something to completion? I mean, I don't.
Now she types it up, right? She types it up, or does she write it
out? That's a good question. No, I think she wrote it out.
Oh, wow.
I'm quite certain she did. And then she goes back and she made a bunch of notes going through everything. And I'm just amazed at her discipline. I mean, and you bringing this up it's cathartic. Is that the word?
Yeah, that's how I feel when I do it. I feel I need to write stuff down. I would take books with me on the subway, and I'd have my little notepads here, these little notepads, and I just start writing down something from each chapter. And I just really because to be honest with you, when you're on the subway, when you're in commute, what do you tend to do? You're going to scroll just as much as when you are at home. And so what happens when you're scrolling and you kind of get disappointed no one's messaging you? Then you turn off the phone and just do something that you want to do.
Okay. So cleaning off my pool table, again, going through papers. And one of the papers I saved was about disconnecting from, I guess basically I put it detoxing from social media. And it is a helpful thing when I'm not running back, first thing in the morning, I'm like, oh, did anybody comment on what I posted on such and such? And how many people have listened to the podcast? And were there any new comments on the podcast? And it's like, wow, to just disconnect from that might be very freeing.
It is freeing. There's a meme out, like, people wake up and all they do is check their social media to begin with. And yeah, I do that. But I also think there needs to be another step after that to get your morning going. And I don't really write in the morning per se, but I want to show you something. So talk for a second if you want.
There were these two Hittites that went into the temple. One said,
my mom got me this.
Oh,
So it says, trust in the Lord. Okay.
And lean not on your own understanding.
And
Proverbs
I have
3:5.
since written prayers all throughout the last few years,
You know,
back to 2017.
you know
And
what,
I kind of
Alex?
like,
There is a lot more to you than I think a lot of people are aware of. Now it's starting to make it's making a lot more sense.
like what are you thinking?
What I'm thinking is there's it's positive.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot more to you than meets the eye, and I think the more that you expose yourself, not physically but emotionally, the more, I don't know, something about you, sir.
You
I
know,
like it. I like it a lot.
part of me does still like throwing the masses off with these really Trumpian posts. I kind of like writing like that just because it's fun to see the reaction.
Trumpian posts. I like that too.
And but then it's like, yeah, they don't know exactly who I am. I am kind of just putting it out there. If they like it, great. If not, so be it. I mean, but my work comes from, and my healing comes from things off Facebook and off the air. Now, I could start sharing them. Maybe I will. I don't know. I just feel like what I write in here is between me and God at the moment. And
yes, I get that.
And also, I try and write so God can you imagine God looking at my handwriting? What are you saying? I can't understand what you're writing. So I try to write neat for.
What are you saying? What you saying? Sounds like Ruth Ann. Well, but he knows our thoughts before we think them. Psalm 139 is one of my favorites. It's just amazing to know. So, bottom line, folks, is you can't hide anything from God. And he's got really big shoulders. And he's got this. So just dump it all out. Lay it out. David got so upset with God. He was angry with God. How dare he be angry with God? You're going to hurt God's feelings. I don't think so.
To live and let God, right? That's kind of been a phrase.
Live and let God. Dun, dun. No, that's not.
That's not. Although I would like to see McCarthy do that song. That would have been kind of cool. And so this experience with my stomach is a God thing too, right? So another reminder that even in quarantine, I kind of have to just not be so careless with the way I treat my body and read everything carefully before I ingest 215 milligrams. It's just comical to me because it's like, thank God it wasn't Viagra. But but on that note, I'm going to work harder now to pay more attention. And I think God's trying to center me through this experience.
Okay, that was funny. That was.
I got Mike to crack a smile. Look at that.
Yep, he did.
So, what's on your big show after my little rant here? What's on your big show today at 9 a.m.
My big show? I actually, I've got a trailer, a 2-minute, 35-second trailer of No Safe Spaces. I also found on Amazon, I can listen to free the audio from, it's the same name, the No Safe Spaces. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long. So I don't know for sure, other than maybe to continue on with yesterday's thing, which I didn't really focus that much on, was just keeping things simple. And keeping it simple is taking a piece of paper and a pencil and not worry about, how pretty you're writing, because I like what you said. I mean, is God confused because he can't make out well, of course he knows what you're writing. I mean, that's just my theological.
I believe that too.
Yeah, I'm sure he can. Now, sometimes I go back and I can't make out my own writing. Don't hijacks. Yeah. It's and I have this tablet here, that I jot things down, and later I kind of go, well, I don't need that note. I don't. But what things am I writing down that I want? I have some prayers. I journaled for a while.
Okay.
And when I go back and read those, it's like, oh my gosh. And then part of that journaling was prayers to God. I wrote down, like a son sending a letter to his dad. I mean, man, it gets me.
But when you write that at first, there's like an excitement that you're writing to him. That's how I feel anyway. There's this excitement that you're writing to him and taking the time out to literally write to him. Because what do we?
Yeah.
What were we going to say? Sorry, bro.
I was going to say, just thinking about it's getting me choked up, because that's something that's missing. I think because of all of the just chaos of information, and there's videos, and first thing in the morning, and my wife's showing me this video, and I'm showing her this one, and I'm trying to play something from the show or something you said or we said or whatever. And it's like, how do I put this in a very calm way? Stop!
Oh. Now, I sent you a video also last night. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was very chaotic to me. I don't want to play it. Yeah, I did.
Well, and again, I get so much stuff that I'm. Oh, there it is. Oh, you mean the one with the camera weapon?
Yeah, because she's
that was freaky.
She's literally telling him to stop filming, and he's like, So here's my issue with all of this. Some people now feel emboldened to just ruin people's lives by rolling a camera instead of actually talking it out. And
he took a shot of her license plate.
Yeah.
That's doxing, isn't it?
Yep.
See, now I'm just now starting to understand what it means to dox somebody.
And I didn't comment because he's actually been going through the comments of pro-Trumpers and doxing them, like seeking them out too. It's really not good.
Oh, interesting. So this is kind of, wow. Huh.
It's like in a war of entitlement, right? So, okay, when Amy Cooper, this Central Park Karen, had that, I'm glad that video was taken because it shows her roughhousing the dog, and it just was like
I evidently didn't see that video.
Not civil to me. But this one, what it sounds like is she just cut him off, flipped him off, and that was he claims in the caption that she called him the N-word, but there's never that in the audio bit. So I don't know if it actually happened or not. But my question is, when did a flip off and a car crash lead to this? I don't know. It makes us more worried, right? We're not worried, but it's unnerving to think a camera could literally roll on anybody anytime.
Well, I was again, first thing in the morning, I listened to at 6:00 on the Muck Radio stream is a guy by the name of Gail Irwin. And he was talking about how what really ticks him off is when people get in his way. So he's driving and somebody's like, they're driving 5 miles an hour. No, he talks about stopping at a stoplight. The light changed. He didn't move yet. The guy behind him was honking. And he said, someday I just want to get out of the car and go back and say, I didn't even know you knew who I was. Cool. Huh. Well, maybe not a good idea. But I get his point. And there's times where someone might misconstrue my trying to be funny, and it might not go well.
How about this? So the other day I had seen a cop car in Cunningham Park because there was an incident there which led to the fire department of New York and other ambulances to go in. But as much as I love cops, I also know not to approach them and say thank you because they don't know what that could mean. You know what? I don't know.
True.
And it's like, how do we do that where we can say thank you and not freak them the F out,
I think carrying a stick with tidy whities.
What?
Like a white flag, but never mind.
Missing the point. I'm missing the point.
A white flag. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm surrendering to your authority. I just want to say thanks for all you're doing. And sometimes when I go into the police station, I tend to be a bit of a joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in here a couple months ago and I said, where can I put some illicit drugs? They have a thing where you can dump your medications that you don't want around anymore. Because you don't know who might be visiting your house that might have a hydrocodone habit.
Right?
I'm serious. So just maybe I just need to be a little careful with the humor sometimes.
Well, I was watching Our Idiot Brother with Paul Rudd, an
Ed?
incredible. Oh no,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was come on. We love Ed. We know we love Ed. My Idiot Brother, is that a movie?
It is with Paul Rudd.
What?
But he talks to everybody and says everything that everybody tells him. So he kind of blabs around to his whole sisters. No. And then he blabs to his parole officer that he got high with another kid.
Oh my gosh.
And so he went back to jail. So you're right. They got to be careful of what they say to people.
I can relate to that guy.
What did you do? Now I'm curious.
I just saying stuff that, asking somebody for forgiveness because, you've always thought that they were an a-hole, but you never told them that. I want you to forgive me because for the longest time, I've always thought you were just an a-hole. Maybe I should just shut up and say, kind of like hanging with that person.
Yeah, I would say so. And they'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean you thought? What did you do?
Because I think what it is we have no filter or something, and we just want to say what's in our mind at the very moment it's on our mind right there.
And telling people about the blow-up dolls and mixed company probably isn't a good idea on my part. It's what?
Blow up dolls, really?
I never told you about the blow up dolls?
No, you never did.
Okay. Well, we'll save that that's a teaser. We'll save that.
Does your audience know about this?
Don't you ever listen to my podcast?
Yes, sometimes I get.
Yeah, whatever. Do you have a dog? Oh, let's not talk about your dog.
She died in 2017.
I know. I shouldn't have brought up the dog. We took ours. Yeah, well, we took our little Chiweenie down yesterday to the vet and had her staples removed from her little incision.
Oh,
yeah, she's
got to be what, the 10, 11 now?
I think she's 7 or 8.
Wow, so she's still young in doggy years, but
yeah, the squirrels haven't. Never mind. So,
do squirrels have what?
Nipples.
I never seen them on them, so
I have a picture I can send you. I've gotten really close to this one squirrel. I can get within 2 feet of this squirrel. It's a boy.
Good for you.
Good response. Good for you, Mike. That's great. Got some squirrel porn.
Oh, jeez. Well, no, there's this little guy who loves to look at us and scrounge around for food in the backyard. And I'm like, is that Kismet in like reincarnate style? Like, is that our dog looking at us? Like, I don't know. It's
an interesting thought.
When you get to these animals, they do want to put on a show for you if you really get to know them. That's all they want to do. Well, let me not say how a nipple got onto your camera from a squirrel, but
can I share something?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so the other night I'm listening to you and Ed, and one of the reasons I decided to go another direction with what I'm doing with my podcast is you guys were having such an intelligent conversation. And I'm serious. And then we get on here and I'm bring up squirrel nipples. It's like, what the? But that's just who I am.
And I can work with both parties. I don't mind working with both.
Well,
parties.
And I think that's one of your attributes. That's just it's just.
I think I'm going to go in depth after we're complete here on graduating high school 11 years ago today.
This is
I was
25th.
25th of June. Yep, 11 years ago on a Thursday. You know what else happened that night that totally overshadowed our graduation?
You got drunk.
Michael Jackson died.
Oh, wow.
That same night. And it was like, here we are thinking we're kings and queens of the world because we graduated, and then the king of pop is gone the same night. It's like, what?
You just reminded me of that song "Man in the Mirror."
Oh, I love that song.
I'm playing that on today's show. Thank you for helping with today's.
I'm so
all
glad
over the place. Well, my shows are so chaotic. There's very little structure, except for poopy bag commercials, and I gotta keep Rob Scribner. Rob Scribner's the guy that will send me a message and it just says, "Bitch."
Okay. Sure.
We just do it.
Oh,
And then, so
I don't know. My stomach's
then I call him a whore. I hope you're gonna be okay.
I'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. I never knew if you get paid to do those Scribner spots or not. I never thought you did. So I just.
Oh,
I
no.
figured-
Actually, I send him $5 a month.
Oh, you told me that. Yeah, you sent him.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate what he does, and he takes my show, and it's on 7 p.m.
Oh, he's a syndicator. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And he's bringing in money off of my stuff. I mean, basically what I am is I'm a podcast prostitute.
Don't say that.
I am. God. You're using me. I like being used by you. It delights me. Anything for your benefit. You see, because I'm others focused rather than, hi, this is Alex Garrett, and I'm sitting on President Clinton's knee. Golly, it must be nice. I want you to hook me up with Kirk.
Well, I could maybe work that out. You want to interview?
No, because I think he's part of that courageous movie that I signed that paper. Never mind, that's for another show. Hey, you know what?
What's up?
It's time to go.
So you don't know. You didn't really give a clear thing of what you're doing today. So just like going back to the simplifying and all that.
1 Timothy chapter 2, simple faith and plain truth. I didn't play that yesterday because I never got that far because of the chat room. One of the reasons.
What did I tell you, Mike? You gotta do your monologue for a half hour, then focus on the chat room at about 9:30 or so.
But when somebody is there first thing when I'm hit the button at 8:00 and I got John Knight showing up, I'm not just gonna.
Well, you can say hi, but I do notice you like constantly talk about the comments, and I'm like, you can do it a little differently and just maybe leave the comments, most of them, till 9:30.
Now, actually, it's interesting you brought that up because Ruth Ann said, I bet you I can be quite distracting.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe I need to be quiet but it makes it it's difficult. It's like having a monologue means mono one, right?
Right.
Kind of a conversation with myself towards others, hoping that they might listen. But you're right. And then you bring a chat room that's got constant stuff, scripture references, and you said that, and I didn't really listen to you. My wife thinks I should just shut the chat room down.
Don't do that either. That would not be good. Lucky for me, I have nobody in the chat room, so I'm not bothered by that at all.
And I don't either right now, which is fine.
That's what it is,
And then poor Gary Russin says, "Hey, your chat room looks like mine. No comments." And you know what I said to Gary? It's okay, because this is cathartic. This is very therapeutic, and I've been saying this for years. This is an important time for me. Whether people listen, in fact, maybe I get pissed when they listen and pissed when they don't listen. I mean, I get upset. I don't get pissed. Christians don't get pissed. We just get upset.
You can say it. I don't care.
No, it's not about you. It's about, I don't want to offend anybody else. No safe spaces. Can't wait to watch that flick.
You got to watch it.
I can't. Well, I'm not ready to pay $20 to watch it.
And then there's a new movie by Larry Elder called Uncle Tom.
Uh-oh.
Larry is he's a host in California, he's African American, and he's a great guy. And he and Candace Owen have partnered up with for this movie.
Are you serious? You are a part of something bigger than. I just think it's great, and I just love. I just thank God that we met. This is awesome. I love Salem.
Well, Salem is quite unique. They do have 200 stations, which is always fun to hear about when I see the stats. Like, wow, 200, 300 stations nationwide. That's freaking awesome. So
It is. It is.
and the
And
only reason I don't think we get enough play is because of the content. I think because there's a movement against conservatism and Christianity, you won't see us be mentioned as much in a good light. Unfortunately, sometimes in a bad light, but
which is too bad.
yeah,
I mean,
it's terrible.
Yeah. But I'm thrilled. And when I just saw that this was a Salem Media thing, it looks like a fantastic flick.
It is, and we've been promoting it all months long here.
So where is the best place for me to view it? Do I just need to spend the bucks and just watch it?
Yeah, spend the bucks and watch it, I would say.
And get the DVD.
Yeah, you could do that too, because I'm sure, we don't have a DVD in the house. It's really disconcerting to me, actually.
A DVD player?
Yeah, we don't have a DVD player that I know of in this house now. I don't know why, but.
Well, anyway, yeah, I might just do that. I think, but I don't. Well, can I talk about costs? I think it might be a very well spent, because you get the DVD and you get the watch it on demand, and
Totally.
Well, and it's I got to tell you, I've sure wasted money on a lot more foolish things, and I don't think this is foolish. I think this is going to help me cope with what's going on.
These stories need these movies need to happen because it is going to help change the narrative. Just like writing down everything could help us, and the Civil War letters are something I want to pursue. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 11 years ago, I graduated from high school today, and I lost a few of my friends over the years that have graduated with us, and I feel them today. Literally, one just died last year from that class, and I'm just it's heartbreaking.
I remember the first class reunion that I went to, and they actually asked me to kind of sort of MC it, and we had a classmate that had passed away, and that's back in the day when I was I think it must have been in 92. So 70 would be our 30 so 20-year reunion. And I actually did something that was kind of strange, and it was over the top. I had everybody hold hands and we prayed, and it was kind of weird. I just think I kind of maybe put I don't know.
That doesn't sound over the top to me, Michael. That sounds nice and grounded, actually.
Well, but some people probably might be offended. See, I'm worried about people being offended. I don't want to offend anybody on purpose. If they're offended because of the truth, if they're offended because they do realize by looking at themselves they're pretty messed up, that's a good offense.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an okay thing to be offended about. And it's like, bring it on. If I need to be offended because I'm a a-hole, then let me know. But you better have it well grounded. If I'm an a-hole just because I'm not saying things about certain things and now I'm a racist, I'm probably going to get a little upset.
And you might just dismiss the argument entirely, I hope.
There is the key. But does that mean I'm just a wussy? Or am I the one that's being wise and turning away and not having an argument with, I hate to say it, it's just, don't waste time in an argument with somebody who can't hear what you're saying. Because they're so deaf to what you're saying, huh?
And refuses to hear what you're saying, too. By the way, I think if you drop it, you are the bigger person in that situation.
Well, of course I'm the bigger person. Hey, speaking of bigger people, I've lost 4 pounds. I'm feeling better now.
Good, man.
Well, I think it's stress. I think I know it's stress that messes me up. Anyway, with that, I got 20 minutes to get prepared for what? Preparation H. Holiness.
Preparation H. Ooh, I like that line.
Take time to be holy. My mommy always says that. Michael, take time to be holy. And she's right.
You did your video today, or?
No, I haven't yet. And I don't know that you know what? I'm just kind of in La
I
la
know
land right now with a lot of stuff.
it's a Thursday too, and it's kind of like blah. As
And at 10 o'clock this morning, I'll be having Miles will be doing his sermon because he's
oh,
celebrating his birthday. So I won't be able to have him on live. So you don't know. I mean, you're the only one that knows that. So it'll come across like it's live.
that's the important part, is to make it sound live, 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 live.
Well, and it will not be available until I hit the play button and pretend like it's live.
When did you record this now, or when did he record?
I will
it?
be recording that this morning at 10, which
Cool.
is 5 o'clock his time.
And then you're done with Sunday then, if you're going to do it that way, right? So
Although I will sit here and listen to the entire thing, I'm sure.
why not, actually?
Because listen to it twice. Oh, gee. No, as people, and we leak. You brought up a great point about sitting down and taking the time to write. I've been there, went right past it, and now it's on the shelf, and I haven't taken the time to write. So it's really setting priorities and sticking with the priorities, but there's so many distractions.
That's why we got to just write them out of our heads, or just get them out one way or another. Even through podcasting, that can help too, get us out of that thought process. You know, I will tell you, my stomach is what it is, but when I put on the mic, it's just I forget about it for a good hour, and then it helps me forget that I'm still got this issue going on.
And that's why maybe to meditate. By the way, never mind.
By the way, what?
I had a beer last night. Just one.
But there's nothing. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't. I'm only saying that because I'm glad that's all I had, and I don't have any other. This has been quite a life thing. Seeing my son go through what he's gone through, and another son, and other people, and it's been good. And then you talking about taking care of yourself. I got issues that I need to be more careful about what I eat. I need to exercise more, and I need to do it.
Yep.
So maybe it's time.
We all can do it together, even if from afar. Just do it, and then come back and report.
Cut some of this crap out of my life, and take the time to maybe take a little. Or I could take my MP3 recorder, and
I'm going to ask a very controversial question.
Yeah.
I've been noticing a trend where women get their, they want to get their body back in shape, and they do it after a breakup. And I'm kind of like, if you're so hurt after the breakup, why didn't you work on it? If you felt like you needed to during the relationship, I don't know. It just is like you're waiting till after. I don't know. Maybe that's controversial to say, but it just is a feeling like if you want to do it, you should do it while in the relationship too.
That's a really good point.
Because then, and by the way, men should not shame their women for their bodies. Let's put it that way too. I think we are at fault for that type of stuff too.
Can I tell you what? This is cool you're bringing this up, because I remember the first time I really got hit with the truth, because I'm thinking, yeah, Laura needs to drop some weight. Gee whiz. And then for some reason, I took a nice long gander. Is that the right term?
Okay.
In the mirror and went, holy crap, you look like shit. I got scars. So, and I got stretch marks. I got pokey holes where they put tubes in, draining poison out of me. And I'm telling you, it's like, who in the hell am I to be critiquing somebody else's physiquing? I mean, physique.
Right.
It's really
same with me, right? Who am I? Because my body's not perfect either. So, and I never would, by the way. And for a guy to make the girl feel so low about that is pretty shitty, actually.
It's very, it's very shallow.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
guess I just I would like to think that I'm not that shallow, but I know I am. I just don't like that about me. Now we're back to, I used to do a character called Mad Lamb, and Mad Lamb was mad at sin, especially his own.
Wow.
He really disliked his own crap. And maybe I should resurrect Mad Lamb.
Was it a Jesus portrayal or was it
Man Cow.
no, Mad Lamb? Like, was he?
Well, but
What did you base his character off of?
it was back when I was at the radio station, 94, 95, 96. And in fact, I still have the fun little box here that I can change my voice pitch. And Man Cow was somebody I would love listening to. Man Cow. And I finally
Howard
thought,
Stern, right, or something like that.
I don't know. He had his own show, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he did have that too.
Yeah, and I've got his book, another book. So many things. But anyway, focus. So so I thought, you know what? Mad Lamb. I'm Mad Lamb. Mad at sin, but mostly mad at his own sin. And he would talk about, the pavilion. There's a pavilion, and he couldn't talk well. Yeah.
I thought it was going to Pavlovian dogs or something like that.
And then when I would come into the studio after he'd been in the studio, it'd smell like sheep, and there was poop all over the keyboard because he had poop between his hoovers. And it's just, it's me.
It takes a lot of creativity to get that character created, though. No, I mean, I would think so.
And to be able to, I did an entire show, and we were doing the programs for the church I was attending. I used Mad Lamb, and my pastor afterwards, it was another one of those, Mike, we need to have a talk. Don't be saying things like,
I feel like you've had a lot of those in your day when you have a talk.
Yeah, and right now it's kind of nice to not have to be that concerned about what other people think about what I'm saying or doing, although I still am concerned. And
Mike, are you going to church on Sundays, or are the churches not open still in Iowa?
They're pretty much all closed around here. Wow. I'm looking forward to going back across the street at the nursing home. I really enjoy this Pastor Brian. He is so much like I am. I mean, we just really connect, and he's just normal. Huh. And I love being around those folks in the nursing home that really enjoy. There's so much history
and love. It sounds like,
and love. Oh my goodness gracious! And they come walking past. I'd be sitting in the back row, and they'd come walking by, and oh, hi Mike, how are you? And I've been looking at you. I've been watching you through your windows. You might want to close your curtains. Anyway.
Oh man, I'm starting to get a little fatigued, so I'm gonna head out.
You need to. I hope you have a good recovery.
Thank you. I will let you know how that goes. But Michael, I love you, man.
You too. Have a great day.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.